You are now listening to WSN, Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
Home of the hottest takes and the best interviews in college radio.
Hold on, wait a minute. We need a little more energy. This is Sports Pack. Yeah, there we go.
Home of the hottest takes and debates.
There is no way I'm going to sit here and roll with Jared Stidham and Aiden O'Connell.
Richard.
There's just no way.
And the best interviews in college radio.
This is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor.
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
And the Wolves play here.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to our first Monday edition of Sports Pack this semester. As always, I'm your host, Richard Reed, joined by Carly Pear, Jackson Schrader, and my guy, John Howley, running the board.
What's up?
How y'all feeling today, guys?
Like $1 million.
Dude, the weather has been phenomenal today. Let me tell you.
And this whole week, it's going to be so nice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a great week. I'm really excited to get out there and soak in some of this cool weather. Well, I shouldn't say cool weather. Soak in some of this comfortable weather before it gets cold again.
Yeah.
Because you know we're about to get hit with another wave of cold air.
I hate
Do
this
we know the
jump.
result of Groundhog
George is
Day?
whack.
Was it winter extended or not?
It says 6 more weeks of winter.
Of course.
Yeah. But the groundhog shoots at like a 30% clip, so I don't know how much I trust him, but I'm expecting it to get pretty cold too. But outside of the weather, we have a jam-packed sports pack to get into. One of the wildest trade deadline week one of the wildest weekends of trades we've seen in the NBA. Got some NFL coaching moves to get into. College basketball is really starting to ramp up as we get to conference tournaments. And also, it's Super Bowl week, y'all. But before we get into any of that, I must remind you, every Wednesday is Fried Chicken Wednesday at West Commons. Faculty and staff can now get their own meal plans by visiting westga.edu/dinewest. Updates are available at UWG_Dine_West on Instagram. Also, binge drinking is consuming 5 drinks or more on one occasion for males and 4 drinks for females. However, some college students drink at least twice that amount. Can you believe that?
Whoa, that's a lot, man.
Dude, exactly. And that's exactly
It's
why
not smart. It's not smart.
It's not smart at all.
Don't
And that's
do
why the
it.
Crafty Rabbit Meadery has joined forces with Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign to make sure all of our wolves stay safe when drinking. Never drink under the age of 21 and always have a designated driver. And also, throw in some good food while you're at it just to cover all bases.
Man.
Now, let's get into some West Georgia athletics.
Is Widener rolls to the right. He's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it. And it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
Yes, we are, and we have a jam-packed week of Division I basketball coming up this week. Let's start with our men's team because they're the team that's home this week. A home game this Wednesday here at the Coliseum versus Lipscomb University. And on this Saturday, February 8th at 2 p.m., another home game against the University of North Alabama. Now listen, it has not been the greatest season of all time, especially after last year.
Right.
We're currently sitting at 4-19, 2-8 in conference play. We're in a different world. This is like an apples to bowling balls comparison when looking at last year's team compared to this year's team. But you know what? We're still playing basketball.
Yep.
They're still fighting. Pretty much every single game has been a battle. The last home game we actually won by 20. We were all in attendance. It was a great environment, great game to be at.
A lot of fun.
So, Schrader, I want to start with you.
Yeah.
Going throughout the rest of this season, especially this Wednesday's game at home against Lipscomb, like I said, 7 p.m. at the Coliseum, be there, hear about it. What does this team need to do in order to get our third conference win this week against Lipscomb?
They're going to need to score more points than Lipscomb. I think
There it is.
Genius.
I mean, right there, plain and simple, that's what needs to happen. But no, really, we just need to play better defense because that's the big thing this team struggles with is defense. We can score. Like, we're not a team that struggles to score. We're a team that struggles to prevent scoring. So
Right.
I think if we can just hold Lipscomb, Lipscomb looks pretty darn good this season, so I don't know if we're going to be able to do
Are
that.
they top of the ASUN?
I don't know if they're top of the ASUN, but they're sitting at 7-3 in the ASUN, so they probably ain't far from it.
They're at least in the top 3.
Yeah, so it's a good Lipscomb team. I just think if we can just limit their points, then we got a shot. But just go have fun, score more points than they do.
Go ahead.
Well, I think from the North Florida game, not that we won by 20, but the one thing I saw is when we get like pressure applied to us, we cannot play through the pressure. Sometimes it really turns into a lot of turnovers. So really utilizing, like you got to understand, like they would double team just one guy, and we would just be going frantic and just throwing the ball out there. That's the one thing we need to focus on, not having as many turnovers as well.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this team has really clicked at all throughout this entire season. Last season, we had a group of guys, when we used to sit down with Zodi, he was always talking about it.
God squad.
They all lived together in the Foundry up the street. They were all together, spent the entire summer together. They've been together for the past 2-3 seasons. So when last year came around, and certain guys like Zodi and Camden Atland really took that next step, the rest of the team was right there with them. Cole Fisher and those guys, they were a very sound group. They were a family.
It was a hive mind. Like they
Exactly, it
knew
was a hive mind.
They knew where the ball was going before we even had possession. Like
Exactly.
it
It
was insane.
Dude, they were so in sync. But this team made up of a lot of portal players, a lot of guys their first year here at West. It just doesn't seem like it has clicked at all this entire season. Now, who knows? It might click this Wednesday against Lipscomb and they ride off into the sunset, end off on a great year. Everybody comes back next year and wins the national championship for all I know. But as of right now, it just has not happened. But I will tell you this. One team here at West Georgia that has clicked a lot more than last year, still under 500, sitting at 8-13. But our women's basketball team has really put together a really, really good season. Now you may be like, Richard, didn't you just say 8-13? Yes, I did. But every game has been must-see. Like this past Thursday's home game against Central Arkansas, losing 67-64. Just about every game, especially the ones at home, have been really, really close and really entertaining. And that's one thing we could not say about the team last year.
Right. Most of the games for this women's team have been very, very close.
Yeah.
Very few of them have been out of a 10-point deficit. So really excited for this women's basketball team, especially for standout Destiny Jones. For the second time this season, she has been named the ASUN Freshman of the Week, which to be named twice out of the whole conference as a freshman is insane. So good for her.
Well, she's the dog, man.
And this team, and we see all the time, this team has like a leader. I think is number 5. It's between 5 and 13. They split the load between like who controls the court, and they mesh well together. That's why they've won 8 games. Other than just coming down to overtime losses and all that, but there's really a leader out there on the court, which that's something the men's definitely struggles right now with.
Yeah, this is a young team that does have a lot of chemistry, and that's going to be really helpful next year and even to the year after that. The only thing that this team really lacks is the ability to just finish a game.
Yep. That has been the main problem.
They're not able to finish these games strong. They've been in games against some very, very tough opponents up until the last 2 minutes or until overtime, and they let it slip away.
Slips.
They're snatching defeat out of the hands of victory, and you can't do that. So once this team is able to get over that hump, they are going to be a very, very good basketball team.
Yeah, man. This team, this team has a problem that a lot of my friends, lifelong friends, have complained about. They can't close. They can do everything else, but they cannot close. A lot of people have this issue, and our team is currently dealing with that issue right now. We get really, really close, but just seem to not be able to completely finish the job. But it's okay, like you said, this is a really young team, and they have a lot of room to grow.
Exactly.
And it's really been hard to watch too.
It's
Like
been
this last game against Central Arkansas, everything was going great for our team the entire time, pushing through all game, and then right at that 2-minute mark, the threes just start going in. Somebody just put a lid on top of the basket. We could not make a shot up until like the 45-second portion. But at that point, the game got out of hand. Central Arkansas had come back, built to believe the game was over. So like you said, they are very, very close, but just have not been able to close. I still love going to their games. They're super entertaining.
They're tons of fun.
Always so fun to go to. If you're in the area, please show up to some of our women's basketball games. They are super entertaining. Probably the best, most fun you're going to have at a sporting event right now at UWG.
Yeah.
I mean, they're super fun. I enjoy myself every single time. Get out there, play some of the games at half court. It's always
there's a winner right here, the half court winner.
Yeah, he's played the game like 15 times. I swear, every time I go to a game, Schrader's at half court playing the game.
Hey man, you're making a little
it's like a little
side
part-time
hustle,
gig, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you're killing it, bro. You're killing it. Now, real quick, before we move on, I got to remind you again, Dine West will soon introduce new stations, including a ramen station and a fuel and performance nutrient station at West Commons Dining Hall.
I know this time now.
I'm telling you, these additions are designed to provide more choices and cater to different nutritional needs. More information is located at UWG_Dine_West on Instagram. Now, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick song break because when we get back, we're going to be diving into this insane weekend of trades in the NBA. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
Don't worry, there's a lot going on in the sports world. Catch Sports Pack on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Wolf Sports Network for all the sports updates you need. The Wolves play here.
Hey, do you want to be part of Wolf Sports Network? Yeah! Well, I have some good news for you because you can join us. So if you want to learn more about this, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and click WIT Sports Program. With becoming a WIT, you expand your knowledge in the sports radio world and join our ever-growing family.
New face over there, you're not tripping. We got my guy JT over here shadowing the board. He's running through the WIT program right now. Brandon, how you feeling, baby? Welcome to Sports
I'm feeling
Pack.
great being on here for the first time.
And we can't wait to meet you once you join us.
It's a brand new season, and you know what that means. A brand new series.
Kool-Aid Jackson Cook.
Mark my words, by the end of his career, Nolan Arenado will be better than Chipper Jones.
Jackson Cook.
New short series, exclusively on Wolf Sports Network YouTube.
Kool-Aid Jackson Cook.
Make sure to like and follow on all socials for more content.
Well, first we were a podcast to Wolf Sports Network's newest podcast. Then we turned into a live show.
Welcome back to episode 2 of the Triple Threat live show.
And this semester is our final ride. But don't worry, we're not going to stop with the action. From our debates in triple play and the best snake drops across the nation.
Dude, that's everybody's
Guess who's going first as my tight end? Brock Bowers.
No!
You don't want to miss out, so tune in every Friday from 11 to 12 only on Wolf Sports Network.
Sports fans, are you looking for a show where you can see other sports fans sharing in your misery and excitement? Then Sports Out of Pocket is for you, because we're fans too, and we experience our highs.
Bertigine is not a safety. He's just a corner who will lock down your number one.
And our lows.
Trayshawn Ward. Screw you, buddy. You were on our team last year, and you gave us no mercy, okay?
So join us every Wednesday at 5 to cheer and boo along with us, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Baby, let's talk some NBA. All right, what's going on, y'all? I'm sure you've had to have heard by now, unless you're living under a rock somewhere.
I hope not.
Luka Doncic is now an L.A. Laker, and a blockbuster trade that just transpired this weekend that sent Luka to the L.A. Lakers and Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks. Now, look, I know what you're thinking. You're looking at your screen and you're like, man, Richard, that's crazy. But something looks a little different about Carly. And that's because, and look, that's because this is not Carly at all. This is Wolf Sports Network NBA expert Lim Boinga here to join us and talk about this crazy trade. So, Lim, I want to start with you. Once again, thanks for joining Sports Pack. It's great to have you. Lim just graduated from the WIT program. He's a full-time volunteer here at Wolf Sports Network. Like I said, our NBA expert. What are your initial thoughts? What was your initial thought when you saw this trade go down?
Man, it's crazy because, you know, Luka he was one of Dallas's, he was a franchise player there.
Yeah.
He was the Mavericks.
You know, he was a franchise player there.
Second to Dirk.
Right. And my first thought is, okay, are we playing 2K? Are we playing 2K?
That trade wouldn't go through on 2K.
Yeah, it wouldn't go through on 2K.
You can't make that trade on 2K.
So, him going to the Lakers, it shocked the world. But here's my thoughts on that. I don't think this is bad for the Lakers. And I say that because LeBron has been on a team with the Cavaliers in 2016 when he had Kyrie Irving on his team. And you got some people saying, oh, it's not going to work because they don't want to share the ball, or they have egos, and they want the ball in their hand. But I don't think that's the case for them because you had Kyrie on that team in 2016. He averaged 27 a game through 7 games, and that was second behind LeBron James.
Right.
So, and the thing about Luka is not selfish himself. Luka shares the ball. He averaged a 30-point triple-double like maybe second year in the league.
Yeah, last year he went to the finals splitting the ball with Kyrie Irving.
Right.
2 ball-dominant guards.
Exactly. So I think it works. I'm gonna go on a limb and say they can go to the finals.
The Lakers?
Yes. It's gonna take some time.
Woo.
You know,
I don't know ball.
Are you saying go to the finals this year?
This year, yes.
Okay, Lim,
yes.
I'm gonna tell you right now that's not gonna happen.
Yes.
Now look, I was letting you go for a minute, but I gotta tell you that's not gonna happen. If there's a team that was involved in this trade that can go to the finals this year, I think it's the Dallas Mavericks. And I say that because how much they were able to keep. They kept Kyrie Irving. They bring in Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis this season has expressed the fact that he doesn't want to play center. He wants to play power forward. But either way, he's still one of the best two-way players, if not the best two-way player in the NBA. This is the key for the Mavericks. They kept P.J. Washington. They kept all their other bench pieces, and they also kept Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. That right there is the key. So when you're looking at Kyrie Irving, a guy that I would say is the best point guard in the NBA, two big-time 7-footers in Lively and Gafford that can rotate at any time, and Anthony Davis as your 4, do they have insane size, great guard play, and great depth? I think the Mavericks win this trade for right now, but also Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis are both in their 30s. This is not going to last very long. So I feel like if the Mavericks are going to do anything with it, it has to be right now. They're in the best position to win. But I'm with you on the fact that the Lakers have definitely set up their future.
Yeah.
Richard, you have more optimism in that statement than the entire city of Dallas will have for about a decade. That city is crumbling as we speak. They're having funerals with caskets for Luka right now. Like I don't think I've ever seen a city in shambles like this because of a trade. It's unbelievable. It had me speechless. They did this. They dropped the news at like midnight or 2 a.m.
When I saw it, I thought Shams was hacked. I thought he got hacked.
Yeah, nobody knew. Nobody saw this coming. Luka didn't see this coming. I don't even think Jason Kidd did.
No, Jason Kidd had no idea.
I would love to be a fly on the wall of that phone conversation when they tell Jason Kidd that they just traded their franchise player away out of nowhere.
Dude, you know what's funny? I read an article right before the show went on, probably about 45 minutes before we went live, and it was from the Utah Jazz's general manager. If y'all didn't know, it's a three-way trade. The Utah Jazz had to get involved.
I just feel like they're just like, they saw the trade and they're like, oh yeah, put us in on this.
They got a bag of sand. And the thing is, the Utah Jazz general manager said he didn't realize that they were trading Luka to the Lakers until 30 minutes before it actually went through.
Oh my!
So he said by the time he found out, there was nothing he could do about it.
That's
But I do have one.
How does that happen?
Oh my God. Dude, I have no idea. It should be illegal to keep those kind of secrets in rooms like that. Something went wrong, and I feel like over these next few months and few years, we're going to get all the details for this trade.
Yeah.
But, Lim, I want to go back to what you just said a second ago. There is only one way I think this trade works out for the Lakers to where they can win right now. Because like we were saying, Luka's only 26 years old. He's already a top 5 player in the NBA, top 5 basketball player in the world. But if the Lakers want to win right now, there is one move they have to make. Because, yes, they have LeBron, they have Luka, but they have no defense. They have no size. Jackson Hayes is their biggest player, and he's a cone out there on defense. So is LeBron, and so is Luka. They have no defense.
Yeah.
They can score all night, but they cannot defend.
They just lost the defense.
Here's what you do. You go out and you trade LeBron James before Thursday's trade deadline.
He's got a no trade clause.
Yeah,
that's get him to waive it. Get him to waive it. Find a way to get LeBron to waive. Listen, that's if they want to win right now. I really think they're building towards the future. But if the Lakers, who are still sitting as a top 5 seed in the West right now, just now hitting their stride when they made this trade, which is why I think it's insane. But if you want to make it work, and you want to make it work this year, you have to go out and trade LeBron James. He's still super valuable. Just had a 30-plus point triple-double a couple nights ago against the Knicks, who's also a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. He's still balling. Any team will be majority of teams will be happy to have LeBron James. Find a team, a suitor, like maybe the Cleveland Cavaliers, maybe it's the Knicks, maybe it's the Golden State Warriors, and just get a haul for LeBron James, get Luka a bunch of quality depth and size so you can try to make a run right now.
I don't know if this is like completely out of the realm of possibility, but I did see a headline that the Suns are looking to shop Kevin Durant. Like, his name's being thrown out there. CBS Sports dropped that earlier.
Kevin Durant?
It said Kevin Durant's kind of like he knows that he could get traded. They have been taking a couple of offers. So could LeBron for Durant, would that be a good trade for the Lakers?
I still don't think so, and I'll tell you why. It's because the Lakers' problem right now is defense. They already didn't have a center, which is why Anthony Davis was having to get down low and play center when he's really and wants to play power forward.
Yeah.
So really, they'd have the same problem. They'd be trading the hat. They'd be trading the blue hat for a black hat.
Yeah.
You still got a hat, but you got no drawers on. Like, they can score all night with LeBron and Luka playing the two-man game. They can go at it all night, just like me. But the thing is, I should have said that. I apologize. But look, they can score all night, but they can't defend. All their games are going to have to be one of the upper 100s and 150s if they want to win games. So they don't need to do that. If they're going to go out and trade for people, they're going to have to get defensive pieces.
And quick thing, I just want to say, I think the Lakers win this trade by a little bit, but like
They win this trade by a lot of bits.
No. I think it's a little bit because, again, like Richard just mentioned, Kyrie and AD, they still have good surrounding pieces over there. So the Dallas, they're still a good playoff team, and I can see them doing some things in the playoffs. The Dallas does not look bad off of this trade. I think Dallas still got something out this trade. So I don't think nothing's bad on their end.
They didn't get a big old goose egg out of the trade. They still got something.
They got something good.
But I want to say you mentioned earlier you say trade LeBron right here from ESPN saying a source that LeBron plans to stay with the Lakers beyond the NBA trade deadline.
I understand that, and I don't expect them to make a move because I think they're building towards their future. But I do say if Rob Pelinka and the Lakers did want to win right now, it would be best to ship LeBron off. Right. He's your most valuable asset outside of Luka. He's the guy going to get the most for the most depth.
They're just going to leave Bronny over there in L.A.?
Not Bronny. He might have an extra year of eligibility. He might be able to go back to college and play with his brother at Arizona.
Maybe.
But before we move on to this next big-time deal, Lim, I want to go back to what you said. You said you feel like the Lakers won this trade. I don't think anybody won or lost. I think the Mavericks won in the present day, as in they're going to be able to contend for a title right now. But in the long run, like you said, Schrader, the next 5 to 10 years, the Lakers definitely won because they probably got the best young talent in the entire NBA.
You're going 25-year-old in his prime, one of the best scorers, one of the best players in the NBA, for a really good player in Anthony Davis, but he's 31.
Right.
Like that 6-year age gap's a big deal.
Give Luka the super
contract. He's at the tail end of his career.
We'll see what happens.
You can't give him the super contract because he's not in
Dallas. He can't get a $300 million.
They robbed him out of 125. You know how mad I would be if I'm Luka right now.
In a state with no tax, in Texas, and he moved to L.A. He's about to move to a 13% tax.
That GM does not like Luka.
Exactly. Like this isn't a financial show, but just know Luka is mad for more than one reason. He also just closed on a $15 million house in Dallas, but we're not going to get him.
Oh my gosh!
Now listen, that was not the only trade that just went down though.
Apartment with that money in L.A.
Look, dude, I don't even want to think about it. I know Luka's going through it right now.
Oh, my God.
But that's not the only trade that went through in the NBA this weekend.
No.
De'Aaron Fox, 27-year-old superstar point guard for the Sacramento Kings. If you don't know, a couple years ago he had that crazy playoff series against the Golden State Warriors. They're out there lighting the beam in Sacramento. Well, he's now going down to what Charles Barkley would say is the home of that dirty little creek in San Antonio, joining Victor Wembanyama and Greg Popovich on the San Antonio Spurs. That's big time, man. Schrader, what are your immediate thoughts on that deal?
Immediate thoughts: the Spurs are back. I mean, they were down in the dumps. I mean, I'm not the biggest NBA guy, but last I checked, they were not good. Right. Pop seemed to be a little washed, and then all of a sudden they get. I don't even know if generational is the right term for Wemby. Like Wemby is an all-time kind of talent. It's unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
And he already has CP3. Now you're giving him De'Aaron Fox. I mean, that offense is going to be absolutely insane. 'Cause like you were saying before the show, they could have CP3 coming off the bench.
Easily.
That is one heck of a team. And with that coach, with Pop behind, with Pop on the bench, that's huge. But I really like the Sacramento Kings, dude, getting Levine and DeRozan back together, as well as the absolute haul of picks that they got from
I
this
think that's
trade.
huge for them.
They did a pretty darn good job. And Chicago, I mean, I know some of these names, which I think is a good thing. So I think everybody got what they needed. This is a really even trade, and I think it's a lot better than the one that happened in Dallas for sure.
The fact that the Spurs were able to keep Chris Paul, now the Spurs, I thought not before the season, but around Christmas time when they played the Knicks on Christmas Day, I think they lost that game. But I just seen the Spurs have playoff potential. And now adding De'Aaron Fox, I think that amps that potential up even more because Chris Paul is a great playmaker. He gets his players involved. You know, he's obviously a Hall of Fame point guard.
Right.
And adding De'Aaron Fox, I mean, and Chris Paul can still teach De'Aaron Fox some things because Chris Paul has experience. So it's
Chris
like
Paul's that guy.
And you have Victor Wembanyama, and I know Chris Paul's been mentoring Victor Wembanyama as well. So it's like that I think the playoffs for them, they can move up some spots in the playoffs for sure. So that's a good
They
trade
could be
for
a
them.
Western Conference final, if not finals.
They probably could.
Maybe.
And
I don't know about.
Levine going to the Kings, they still have Demonis Sabonis over there and DeMar DeRozan. So the Kings, I don't know if they make the playoffs, but I still think they have something good over there.
Yeah.
They definitely do. And I do want to mention one more guy because we talked about Chris Paul, obviously De'Aaron Fox, and Victor Wembanyama out there in the Spurs. I also want to talk about Stephon Castle, their rookie player, Coming out of UConn, just won the national championship last year. He's my pick to probably win Rookie of the Year this year in the NBA. He is a outright dog. Can get out there and call his own number, big-time scorer. I think they entered him in the dunk contest this year because how effortlessly he gets up in the air.
Yes, sir.
And also, he is not afraid to go out there and defend.
Yes, sir.
Like you said, Schrader. San Antonio is going to be really good right now. In the next couple months, they're going to get better and better, really learn how to all play together. I'm not putting that much stock into this year. But next season, boy, y'all better watch out for them San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they are back in action,
100%.
still led by head coach Greg Popovich. They are dangerous.
100%.
The Western Conference has completely retooled, and they're back. Look, Adam Silver and them boys out there struggling for views for a long time. But I can promise you, everybody will be tuning in to watch Luka in L.A., and a lot of people are going to start tuning in when they see the Spurs start disposing of people in body bags night after night after night. Now, let's go ahead and pivot into college basketball as we have a big-time matchup in the Big 12 tonight with the now number 8 team in the land, the Iowa State Hawkeyes, sitting at the Iowa State Cyclones, excuse me. Sitting at,
I heard that. I was like,
all
what'd you
5
say?
people in Iowa are really mad about that.
they're pretty tight right now. Look, I apologize.
They are.
But the Iowa State Cyclones going on the road to Kansas to take on the 16th ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Now I know Lim, pre-show you were talking a lot about the Big 12. Walk us through some keys in this matchup and maybe even some other teams that you really enjoy watching in the Big 12.
Yeah, so I mentioned this a couple times, not on the show, but like in my videos, Lim Talk Sports. I don't want to promote that right now.
Oh, no, go for it, man.
Promote it, brother.
No, but I've said that the Big 12 has been one of the best conferences in basketball for a while now. Now you have a lot of teams in the SEC who have been making a statement. You have a lot of teams in the SEC in the top 25. But with this game with Iowa State and Kansas, this is a very good Big 12 matchup. Iowa State just lost against Kansas State at home, which put them down in the rankings. So that just goes to show you how good the Big 12 is. And Kansas State's not even ranked. So that just goes to show you how good the Big 12 is. You still got Baylor. You still have Texas Tech, who just beat Houston. So the Big 12 is still like I want to say they're the big conference. They're the best conference in basketball. But I'll say with the SEC in their play right now, it's kind of level. It's kind of leveled right now. It's kind of leveled right now. I'm not gonna lie. But
Leveled.
yeah, leveled. Yes.
Leveled.
I'd give the edge to the SEC, but I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, I say it's leveled right now. But this game tonight is going to be a good game. It's going to show what Big 12 basketball is, and I'm excited to see. I think I'm gonna say Iowa State wins this game here and bounces back from the loss they took against Kansas State. So that's my take.
Well, I got a quick question because earlier we were talking pre-show and all that, and one of Jackson Folsom Sports Out of Pocket said Iowa State is one of the most fraudulent, like top. What was it? It was
He said
overrated.
He pulled up the AP top 25 and he said they're the most overrated team on that list.
Tell to the viewers why they would not be overrated, especially for a matchup like this tonight.
I mean, Iowa State plays defense, man. Every night they play defense. They have Curtis Jones over there. They got Keyshawn Gilbert, Taman Limpsey, really good guard play, and they got good passing bigs in Deshaun Jackson. So Iowa State, they're not overrated at all. Again, they're in the Big 12, one of the toughest conferences in basketball right now. So Iowa State, I don't think they're overrated. They're ranked for a reason. They're in the Big 12. They play great defense night in and night out. So I mean, I give Iowa State credit, man. You gotta give him credit. So.
Okay.
I will say this, just to defend my guy Jackson Bowles. He's not here to defend himself, but I will say this: Iowa State has lost 3 of their last 5 games. One game being a big-time overtime loss to the Arizona Wildcats, who were starting to surge at the right time, and also another one to the Kansas State Wildcats, another team that's surging at the right time. But I'll give you credit as well, Lim. That is because the Big 12 is just that good. The Big 12 every single year, and the SEC this year, is always so good, top to bottom. So all the teams that are going to come out are going to end up with 5, 6, maybe even 7 losses. But those losses don't define those teams because how good they are. They're playing up against other teams in their conference week in and week out. You're bound to slip up. These big-time conferences that are stacked from top to bottom tend to cannibalize each other. So I'm not going to knock Iowa State too much. They're still a super good team, like you said. They can score with the best of them and play some of the best defense in the nation. It's just hard getting out the Big 12.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
But moving forward, you just said the Big 12 was the best. You said the Big 12 and the SEC were even this year.
Yes.
I'd give the edge to the SEC. Top to bottom, the SEC is outright ridiculous because you have the usual suspects. Auburn sitting at the 1 spot, obviously. Alabama, Tennessee, Florida rounding out the top 6. But when you go down further into this top 25, you have Texas A&M sitting at number 10. A team that's normally very, very good every single year. They might end their season get into the tournaments like an 8, 9, maybe a 10 seed, will make a deep run every single year because of how gritty and scrappy they are. But this is one of those years. They're currently sitting at 17-5. This is one of those times where this isn't a wishy-washy Texas A&M team. This is a Texas A&M team that can flat-out ball. Then you still have Kentucky floating around down there. Missouri just cracked the top 15 for the first time all season this year. Ole Miss still floating around the bottom of the top 25, along with Arkansas, who just gave Kentucky a big-time loss on the road in Calipari's first ever game against his school, Kentucky. When you look at the SEC, man, there are dogs up and down that conference.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really hard to tell who's going to make it out of that conference, but in my eyes, it really doesn't even matter. Because when it gets in that tournament, any of those SEC teams I just named will be able to make a run
Any team
throughout this tournament.
Any team.
Yeah.
You got it, Jackson.
Yeah, I was just going to say the SEC is really, really, really impressive when it comes to college basketball. And I think it's, I don't want to say it's cool because I don't like the SEC that much, being an ACC guy. But it's wild to see this conference become dominant, not only at baseball, not only at football, but now at basketball. Like, they're just starting to just run the table.
Man.
Now, a minute ago, Schrader, you mentioned the fact that you were an ACC guy a second ago. Isn't there some big-time news that just came out of the ACC?
Yeah, one day I hope on Sports Pack I'll be able to talk about Florida State in good light, you know. But Leonard Hamilton is officially going to be stepping down after this season at Florida State. He's been our head coach for I don't even know how long, like 30-something years. He's been a coach in college basketball since he graduated college in 1971. He's one of the winningest coaches. I think he's like number 2 or 3 all time. Winningest coach in college basketball history. One heck of a coach. He's kind of lost it. He's kind of lost that edge that he had a couple
he's like
of years
140
ago.
years old.
I know, it's wild, but he looks like he's like 55. It's kind of crazy. But we just haven't been that great the last few years. It's kind of getting to the point after that all-time choke job we had against Boston College. It proved that it was probably time for Coach Hamilton to step down.
I understand, man. Every dog has his day. I've been coaching for 115 years, and man, at some point you got to hang it up. Now, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick song break, but when we get back, we're diving into some of these NFL big-time head coaching changes and also going to give you a Super Bowl overview. You do not want to miss out. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
You are listening to Sports Pack here on Wolf Sports Network, your home for all things UWG athletics.
Hey, do you want to be a part of Wolf Sports Network? Yeah! Well, I have some good news for you because you can join us. Woohoo! So if you want to learn more about this, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and click WIT Sports Program. With becoming a WIT, you expand your knowledge in the sports radio world and join our ever-growing family.
New face over there, you're not tripping. We got my guy JT over here shadowing the board. He's running through the WIT program right now. Brandon, how you feeling, baby? Welcome to Sports
I'm feeling
Pack.
great being on here for the first time.
And we can't wait to meet you once you join us.
On Sports Out of Pocket, we have a brand new segment called The Lottery, where we talk about the players that we're high on and low on. Like how we're high on Halliburton turning around this Pacers franchise, and how we're low on Bryce Young for sucking it up with the Panthers.
Whoa. Come on now. That wasn't his fault.
Okay, fair enough. But still, listen to The Lottery on Sports Out of Pocket for more opinions on young players in the league. Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesdays at 5, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Mondays, a day filled with despair, serving to remind us of the mundane in our lives, often leaving us as though there is no escape. Until now. Now introducing the newest member of the Wolf Sports Network family, the Triple Threat Podcast, serving to fight the mundane with exciting and entertaining banter between 3 buddies. Catch it every Monday, now on Wolf Sports Network.
There are certain stages of grief that every man must conquer.
Denial.
You know the 49ers are more equipped for a Super Bowl
You
run.
know they're not.
Anger.
Joel B. Lilly dominates
Luka
Dude,
can do
let
it all.
Me talk.
Depression.
Like, we can't rebound. We can't play defense. I am done watching the Hawks this year.
Here on Twin Picks, we tackle all the emotions. So tune in to Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 5 on Wolf Sports Network.
College students who binge drink alcohol at least 3 times per week were roughly 6 more times more likely to perform poorly on a test or project as a result of drinking. That is why the Crafty Rabbit Meadery has joined Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign to remind students drinking should be done responsibly. in an environment that discourages overindulging. Faculty won't take hangovers as excuses. Sober up, losers.
The Dodgers introducing Shohei Ohtani after signing him to a record-breaking contract.
Nick Saban is retiring.
Breaking news on Sports Pack. And I'm back, but that's not the news we got for you today. So first off, the MLB has had some issues with umpires and gambling violations. Schrader, what's all that about?
Yeah, the MLB just fired an umpire, but it's kind of weird. So the umpire's name is Pat Hoberg. He's known for being probably the best ball and strike umpire. He's the most accurate umpire there is. But they fired him for failing to uphold the integrity of the game. The reason for that is because he was sharing a legal sports betting account with a professional poker player who did, in fact, bet on baseball. However, there was no evidence that Hoberg bet on baseball. So
why would you?
Guilty by association?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Guilty by association.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're an umpire, why would you be sharing a sports betting account with a professional poker player in the first place?
Exactly.
So he's a professional, so he should be able to figure it out on himself, right?
I guess. I don't know.
As an umpire, you shouldn't be gambling on baseball.
Exactly.
True. Okay, that is true.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't be gambling.
Yeah, you shouldn't be gambling whatsoever.
Risky.
As an umpire or a referee in any sport, you should not be gambling whatsoever because you're tainting the purity of the game. I mean, it's not genuine anymore because if you're sports betting, who's to say you aren't betting on this game that you're calling tonight?
Exactly.
Right. And I think a lot of people would argue that with the Chiefs too. I mean, you have so many. I mean, to be fair.
All right, we get into the voodoo magic now?
No.
That's roughing the passer.
Moving on. The National Women's Soccer League is putting its 16th franchise in Denver, so I'm happy about that. It's the city's first pro women's team in the city. So that's super exciting. I mean, when I was growing up there, soccer was huge. I had so many friends that were in soccer, and soccer's just great. So really excited
I'm with you.
Denver to get another pro team like that.
Yeah, one of my best friends coming out of high school is a soccer player right now. She plays at Kennesaw State University. Shout out Taylor. I mean, the soccer's growing around the country.
Oh, yeah.
The U.S. Soccer Federation just moved their headquarters to Fayetteville, Georgia. Their home base is the state of Georgia now. So the sport of soccer is growing rapidly, and I love to see expansion all over, giving people more and more opportunities to get involved in the sport and pursue a professional career in the sport of soccer. It's already the largest sport in the world. It's about time the United States got with the program.
Yeah, and that franchise, I mean, they announced it a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah.
And they already have over 5,000 season tickets, with the down payments put on it. So the city's bought in, which is big. Just to grow the sport, that's huge.
Exactly.
Yeah, super excited. So we also have Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns publicly on social media requesting a trade. John.
Yes.
Tell me more.
So
my
obviously,
blood flowing early this morning.
as we heard this morning, Myles Garrett has officially requested trade from the Browns, wanting to get out of that city. And really, what it is, he wants to win a Super Bowl. He's sick and tired of being in a program that just loses all the time. And obviously, he was brought there to help bring him, build it up and everything. He was first overall pick. But at this point, he's sick of it. He wants out. I don't know where he can go. I mean, hey, bring him to the Falcons.
I was going to say I have an amazing story.
I was going to say, Richard, I think the GM for the Falcons should talk right here on this one.
Give him Richard Reed.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, me and Schrader were talking about this before the show. Sending Myles Garrett to the Falcons would be the perfect spot, perfect situation. The Falcons have the assets to give up, whether you give up the first-round pick.
Do it.
Pair it with a guy like Kirk Cousins, maybe a fourth-rounder on top of that. The Browns are in desperate need of a quarterback right now. Deshaun Watson just re-ruptured his Achilles. Jameis Winston's not the answer. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is not the answer. Nope. They could go quarterback at 2, but why take that risk? You already need to replace Myles Garrett. Draft Abdul Carter at 2. Use Kirk Cousins this year just to get through the year. And go ahead and send Myles Garrett on to Atlanta. That overnight fixes the Falcons' biggest issue, which is pass rush. Because, the sacks ramped up this year, but that was with sending the linebackers. Now you have a guy, Myles Garrett, that can win on his own in Atlanta?
Dude.
With that offense, with Michael Penix, Bijan, Drake London. Oh, my God. Don't get me to salivating. What's Stephen A. Smith say? I'm so ready for Falcons football with Myles Garrett. Boy, look, go ahead.
Richard.
I don't even need to talk no more.
The fact that you don't have Fontenot's job right now is beyond me. because I don't understand how he has his job right now.
I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense, but we need to go out there and get Myles Garrett. Why have the 15th overall pick that you can just trade to get a guy who's not just a proven like veteran, he's not Matthew Judon.
Dude, he's arguably the best pass rusher in all of football.
And he plays every game.
Yep.
The least amount of games he's played was in like 2019 where he played like 12.
And that was when he hit Mason Rudolph with the helmet.
Exactly. And other than I forgot about that. And other than that, it was 2020 when he played 14 games. But his last 3 seasons, he's played 16 games, 17 games, and 16 games. For a D lineman to be able to do that and get triple blocked, whatever you call it, and continue to get to the triple teamed, and continue to get to the quarterback and make results. This guy needs to be in a Falcons uniform.
Dude, this is the one move. Excuse me. This is the one move that needs to happen this offseason. If the Falcons want to win the offseason, no, I'm talking to you. If you don't get this done, you're going to lose your job. And like Schrader said, I'll step into the office, bring my associate GM, Devin Sean McGee, in with me. That's my guy. We talk about all these trades together. Listen, this has to happen. If the Falcons want to win this offseason, you have to find a way to get Myles Garrett.
Yes.
If you can keep your first-round pick, amazing. Go out and draft a linebacker like Jalen Walker at the University of Georgia.
Dude.
But if not, dude, it'd be amazing if they were able to do that. I highly doubt it. So, look, give that first-round pick up because you know what you're getting. You know you're getting a guy that can change the whole look of this defense that already isn't a bad unit. Dude, like you said, exactly.
He's a franchise-changing
player. Change the franchise overnight. That right there would be amazing. If the Falcons want to win this offseason, go get Myles Garrett. Now. It has to happen now.
Okay, bias aside. If Myles Garrett does not go to the...
What made you think I was biased?
Okay. If Myles Garrett does not go to the Falcons, where else do you think would take him?
Probably the Falcons.
Yeah.
No.
I think that's a really, really good second option, Richard.
Yeah, I think if it's not the Falcons, then it's probably the Falcons.
Yeah.
If it's not the Falcons,
if it's not the Falcons, he's going to Atlanta. I think that's what we can say.
Exactly. Okay. But then again, that's not the only big-time news. There's also another team with a big-time pass rusher, Max Crosby, over there with the Las Vegas Rams. His future is also in question. If the Falcons can get Myles Garrett, I wouldn't mind getting Max Crosby as well. Nice. But the Raiders just made a big-time coaching change, bringing in Pete Carroll as their new head coach, which is crazy enough, but also going out and get Chip Kelly, offensive coordinator, formerly the offensive coordinator for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and making him the highest paid coordinator in the NFL. Schrader, what'd you think of that?
$6 million to be your offensive coordinator. That is confidence I don't think we've ever seen in a coordinator before. And this is a really interesting hire because on paper you see Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll coaching a football team.
Crazy.
That seems crazy. And Pete Carroll, what he's also doing, he kept the defensive coordinator. So he's keeping some continuity there to not just like flip the franchise over on its head. He knows what he's doing, and I think there could be a pretty quick turnaround in Vegas with this coaching staff as long as Chip Kelly can continue to build on his offense. Because if he just has an offense that gets figured out, his offense when it's figured out is sad.
Oh, it's awful.
It's pathetic. But if he can continue to innovate it, to change it, to update it, then that could be a very, very good Las Vegas team, especially if they draft Shedeur.
I agree, and I'm so glad you went there with it because now we're looking at a Cleveland Browns team. Myles Garrett's already requested a trade.
Yep.
Carly, I want to go back to what you just said a second ago. Why didn't I say a second team? It's because I honestly haven't even given a second team time of day because I feel like the Atlanta Falcons are the only team that realistically should go all in. Now, other teams may try to, but I think the Falcons make the most sense for this situation. Right. So for the sake of what I'm about to say, let's say the Falcons go out, trade for Myles Garrett. They go out and get Myles Garrett. He's off that team now. Well, let's say they send a first-round pick, a fourth-round pick, and Kirk Cousins. And now the Browns are sitting at that 2 spot. Like, okay, we could draft Abdul Carter here. Or we already have the 15th pick. How about we do a pick swap with the Las Vegas Raiders, who have now gotten their new head coach and new offensive coordinator. They have Brock Bowers. They just need a what? A quarterback. So the Browns move back to that what? The 6th spot in the draft?
So.
What is it? The 4th?
It's
they do a pick swap. They do a pick swap. Now they have a top 10 pick and the number 15 overall pick. And the Raiders move up to that number 2 overall pick where they can get either Cam Ward or Shador Sanders.
Huge.
That will be big time in Vegas, getting Pete Carroll and Tom Brady, their franchise quarterback. If you didn't know, Tom Brady's a partial owner in the Raiders and has a lot to say on
Which
what
is
they
wild.
do.
Like, the names in this organization are
so
kinda
they're
building
it.
You talk about this 5 years ago, blows your mind.
Exactly. And now you go out and get I think Cam Ward's the best quarterback, but get the biggest name in this draft class in Shador Sanders. That's how you flip a franchise over.
Get primetime as your DC if you're getting Shador, bro.
That's how you do it, right?
Like,
I don't think he's leaving. I get what you mean, though. But that right there, that's how you flip a franchise immediately. And the Browns are happy because now they have 2 first-round picks, one at 6th overall and one at 15 overall. The Falcons are happy, and the Raiders are happy. Listen, man, that might be in my next mock draft. I think I just talked myself into something right there. But before we keep going into this conversation, let's talk a little bit about this upcoming Super Bowl. In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty. Chasing a dynasty is the only thing that matters in the NFL. And let me tell you, the Chiefs are 1 game away from cementing themselves in the history books as the first ever team to three-peat, which is winning 3 Super Bowls in a row in the Super Bowl era. Now listen, it's Super Bowl week. Thursday, we're going to be jam-packed top to bottom with Super Bowl coverage, doing a deep dive into the Chiefs and their entire season, the Eagles as well, and ending that Thursday show with our game picks. But right now, we still got to give a quick preview and nice little overview, first glance, if you will, at this Super Bowl game. John, I want to start with you. When you look at this game, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Patrick Mahomes. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Obviously, he gets a lot of bash and criticism right now for being in this position, being 15-2, and making it to the Super Bowl again. And really, I think it's a toss between who do you really want to win. And I still haven't made my pick yet. I will say that, but really, I'm just gonna go with the 1 point of three-peat. It's there. It can happen, but who knows? I saw something today about the curse of the white jersey. Chiefs are in white jersey. If you play in a white jersey, technically a lot of teams have lost the Super Bowl. I don't know.
I feel like there are a million different Super Bowl curses.
Absolutely there is, but hey, I saw it today. You never know what can happen. Maybe the three-peat doesn't happen. Who knows, right?
Dude, it's a very hard thing to do. Carly, what do you think about this?
I think in terms of, I always consider location, things around the location, things like that. And I'm no Swiftie. However,
really?
it has come to
Why she got to be brought into this?
However,
she's part of the game, brother.
Daggone.
She really is. Apparently, when she went on her, I guess the second part of her U.S. leg tour in the fall, people are saying she blessed Caesars Superdome and all these things, and it's just like perfect scenario for them to win. So I don't know if Taylor has some juju or whatever, but
no, that's the voodoo magic we were talking about earlier.
I mean, it is New Orleans, the home of voodoo. I'll walk around with some sage before the game just to make sure that it's happening.
Exactly.
I'll do what I can do.
A lot of people are saying like the stadium's already set for it, whatever. I don't believe in that stuff. However, it is going around. But yeah, I think entertainment has a lot to do with this game. I mean, you got Taylor Swift in it, you got whatever. So I don't know.
Schrader, you got on I didn't mean to cut you off there, Carly.
No, you're good.
I just realized
that was it.
Schrader has on an Eagles green sweater right now. I don't know if that means anything. Do you think the Eagles are going to win this game? I don't know what that means, but we're not picking the game right now.
Yeah.
What are some keys for the Philadelphia Eagles to shake this up and stop the Kansas City Chiefs from completing their three-peat?
Somehow don't commit penalties if that's possible against the Chiefs, because I don't know how much that's in their hands, which is a debatable topic. But also, just give the ball to Saquon, dude.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, Saquon's been cooking all year, and I feel like a thing that could really hurt the Eagles is if they go into the Super Bowl and they just stop giving him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We see teams do this in big games where
the Ravens last year.
Exactly. They'll go into these big games and they don't do what got them there. Just give the ball to Saquon, because he's going to get at least one 75-yard rushing touchdown. Like,
he's ridiculous.
It's going to happen. It's been happening every game. So give the ball to Saquon and somehow try to stop Mahomes from doing some absolutely crazy stuff. Because that's one thing about Mahomes. A play breaks down, he's going to find a way to make a play. He's probably the best ever at that. We've seen him make amazing throws while his face is basically on the ground. And if we can just if they can stop or contain Mahomes, not let plays break down, and just give the ball to Saquon. They might have a shot.
It's as simple as that. When you look at them on defense as well, the Eagles on paper are the most equipped team to do this. They have the number one overall defense in football. We saw them shut down that Ravens offense, that super high-powered Ravens offense early in the season. And when you look at the matchup, this is a Chiefs team that's really down offensively. They were down offensively last year, and they still are this year. They've been coming around the past few weeks with Hollywood Brown finally getting healthy. He's kind of unlocked a different gear in that offense. The running game has been solid, led by Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco. So they have ways to get it done. But this Eagles defense is legit. The defensive line is stacked, loaded up with Georgia Bulldogs. Not to toot. Listen, I mean, I'm a Georgia fan, but look, they've been balling. Nolan Smith is leading the NFL in postseason tackles right now, really took his game to the next level. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, two big-time run stoppers in the middle. Then we look at their secondary, led by Darius Slay. Got Reed Blankenship at safety. Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell at the two corners on the outside have been locking it down all season this year. Two rookie corners, I might add. They've been balling. Like, they've been playing out of their minds. Schrader, you're exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. If the Eagles want to win this game, they have to limit turnovers, try to keep Mahomes contained off the field, don't allow him to make those stellar Mahomes plays that have made
whatever
him
you call it,
exactly that
insane.
have made him so special. And then, like you said, do not get away from what got you there. Jalen Hurts can throw the ball. Obviously, we know he's a good quarterback.
But Saquon can run it better.
Exactly. Saquon can run it better than you can throw it. Saquon got you here. Die with Saquon. Run the ball. And then once you establish the run, then go play action, take some shots downfield to you guys like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
But please do not get away with what got you here. Schrader, I couldn't have said it better myself.
And I want to say something. Everybody hates the Chiefs right now. But if you're watching this, just stop hating the Chiefs. Kind of step back and look at this as we could be witnessing one of the greatest feats of victory in NFL history.
Yeah.
A three-peat in the Super Bowl has never happened, and it hasn't happened since I don't even know when, before cars were invented, something like that. It's been a minute. So if you really want to see something crazy, if the Chiefs win this game, it would be their fourth Super Bowl in 5 years.
Yep.
Andy Reid would have gone from the head coach that's been coaching forever but couldn't win the Super Bowl to a coach with some of the most Super Bowls of any coaches. We're watching one of the greatest dynasties in NFL history. So enjoy it. Like this is on pace to be better than what the Patriots had. So just like enjoy this. Also, you can watch Philadelphia lose. Everybody loves watching the Philadelphia Eagles lose.
Look, no matter which way you slice it, like you said, it's going to be a great experience, something like you said that we've never seen before and may never see again. An amazing dynasty. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, they are on pace to being better than what the Patriots had. But one way or another, it's going to be a great game. When they played 2 years ago, that's one of the best Super Bowls I've ever watched. It was an incredible game. Philly fans like Jackson Voles here at the radio station are hoping for another outcome, while Kansas City Chiefs fans are hoping for that three-peat, trying to create history. Either way, it's going to be an amazing game. And before the game this coming Thursday, tune in to Sports Pack. Same bat time, same bat channel for our Sports Pack Super Bowl special. We will go through and take a really super deep dive into the game, give you the keys for every single team to win, what all teams might have to do to make the other team lose. We're going to go into it all before the Super Bowl. So stay tuned this weekend, this Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. Like I said, Sports Pack will be back. But until then, I'm your host, Richard Reed, signing off for Carly Pear, Jackson Schrader, and John Howley. We'll see you Thursday. Have a blessed day.